Alright, hey guys, we're back with another video. So today, I'm gonna be doing a top 7 Interstates ranking list. So, yeah, let's get into the ranking list. So first off, we start with I-75, Miami, Florida to St. Mary, Michigan. If you want to take an epic journey through America's Southeast, take the I-75. It starts in Miami, Florida, and crosses 6 states over 1,787 miles, ending in Sault Ste. Marie near the U.S.-Canada border. You'll pass through Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Ohio, with stops in buzzing cities like Atlanta, Chattanooga, Lexington, and Cincinnati. You'll also get a taste of America's natural beauty as you pass over the Cumberland Mountains and follow the shore of Lake Erie to Detroit. Once you get to Michigan, you'll get to cross the star of I-75, the Mackinac Bridge. This impressive 26,000-foot-long bridge is the longest suspension bridge in the Western Hemisphere. And now, number 6, Interstate 70, Cove Fort, Utah to Baltimore, Maryland. The I-70 contains the oldest section of all U.S. interstate travel routes in Kansas and Missouri. It's also got one of the most recently built sections of any interstate, with the last stretch finished in 1992. This route starts in Cove Fort in Utah and runs for 2,175 miles through 10 states, including famous cities like Denver, Kansas City, Indianapolis, St. Louis, Columbus, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. Along the way, you'll come across highlights like the Eisenhower Tunnel, the highest vehicular tunnel in the world. It's also the highest point in whole United States interstate system at 11,000 feet. Will cross quite a bit of history, as the I-70 was the first interstate to go through previously uncharted territory in Utah's San Rafael Swell. It also has the longest stretch of interstate without any services. You'll definitely want to stock up snacks before you take on this interstate road trip. Number 6, I-40. Barstow, California to Wilmington, North Carolina. Interstate 40 also cuts to the middle of the United States, but this route starts at a junction of pioneer trails at the city of Barstow in California's Mojave Desert. From there, it's 2,500 scenic miles to the end at Wilmington in North Carolina. Wilmington is a port city gateway to the Cape Fear Coast beaches and Cape Fear River, where the battleship of North Carolina is moored. Between Barstow and Wilmington, you'll see plenty of iconic sites like Oklahoma City, historic Little Rock, and Albuquerque, where you can go to the famous Balloon Festival. You'll also tap your toes from Nashville, the home of country music, to Memphis, home of the blues. The most scenic part of this interstate travel route takes you to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. You'll also get your kicks along Route 66 for the western part of the journey. I skipped number 5 for some reason. So now we have number 4, I-10, Los Angeles to Jacksonville, Florida. While the I-80 takes the more picturesque pastoral route through the middle of the United States, Interstate 10 is all about traveling coast to coast through the American South. It spans 2,460 miles, starting on the shores of Los Angeles at the iconic Santa Monica Pier. Then it winds through the 8 states, including Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. You'll also journey through flat desert roads, cruising from 5,000 feet to below sea level as you hop between famous cities like Tucson, El Paso, Phoenix, Houston, and Mobile. You'll then pass by Lake Pontchartrain into New Orleans, where you'll cross the 6-mile causeway known as the Twin Span Bridge. You'll end your boot-scooting trip on the beaches of Jacksonville in Florida. Number 3. Interstate 80, San Francisco to Teaneck, New Jersey. Route 66 may be the most iconic path for an east-to-west road trip, but the I-80 takes the crown as the best interstate travel route through the middle of the USA, passing 11 states in 2,902 miles. You'll begin in the heart of San Francisco at the Bay Bridge, crossing the Bonneville Salt Flats near the Great Salt Lake, and hitting parts of the California Trail in California and Nevada. Next up, you'll climb to 8,000 feet above sea level in Wyoming and cover parts of the Oregon Trail through Wyoming and Nebraska. Number 2, I-95, Miami, Florida to Holton, Maine. I-95 may not be the longest interstate, but it covers the most states in the country, spanning 1,920 miles through 15 states, plus the District of Columbia. This massive road takes you from the sunny shores of Miami to the cooler town of Holton in Maine on the U.S.-Canada border. You'll drive through the eastern greats of Miami, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. Cruise along the Atlantic Ocean before dipping inland through Georgia, Virginia, and the Carolinas. You'll finish by humming through the gorgeous region of New England, including New Hampshire, and your final stop, Maine. And finally, we reach number 1, I-90, Seattle, Washington to Boston, Massachusetts. Interstate 90 is the longest you can take on in the nation, crossing 13 states and 3,085 miles. It starts near San Safico Field in Seattle, then passes through a tunnel under Mount Baker Ridge, listed on the National Register of Historic Places. As you leave Seattle, you'll cross 2 floating bridges, including Evergreen Point Floating Bridge, the longest and widest floating bridge in the world. You'll then cross the scenic Lake Washington before continuing through places like Wallace in Idaho, where the Battle of the Little Bighorn took place. Make a stop in the city of Cleveland before reaching the end near the Logan International Airport in historic Boston. So yeah, that's the end. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And goodbye, everyone!